We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These immortal words are from the Declaration of Independence, the document that gave voice to America's founding principles. Adopted on July 4, 1776, the Declaration announced the colony's break from Britain with the bold assertion that government is a social contract based on the consent of the governed.
The Declaration of Independence is the fundamental inheritance of all Americans. It is what Abraham Lincoln called the golden apple. What are those core principles of the golden apple? It's the idea that all people are created equal, that we are endowed with certain rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is our inheritance, that sort of moral content, moral ideals. It helps explain why freedom matters, why it matters to have a constitutional democracy, and what our responsibilities as citizens are.
But I think the sort of more fundamental contribution of the Declaration of Independence was a statement that one needed to have a written constitution. John Adams famously said this would start a new epoch in human history, and they thought it was extremely important because they were declaring their intentions not just to Americans, and I think this is another important context, but to other potential supporters of the American cause.
The proclamation was a fearless call for freedom and self-determination that defined the ideals of the American Revolution and lit a spark that has inspired generations. From the fight to end slavery to the push for civil rights, Americans have looked to the Declaration to demand the nation live up to its founding promises.
Well, Lincoln put it most succinctly in the Gettysburg Address when he reminded the nation that the nation had been dedicated to the proposition that all people are created equal, and that the project of America was to ensure that government that is by the people and for the people will never perish from the earth. It's that pithy idea that government is for the people when and only when it is by the people that really encapsulates the moral argument of the Declaration of Independence.
So I think there was a consciousness of the Committee of Five, a consciousness of the Second Continental Congress that they were doing something incredibly important. I don't know what they would have thought about whether we would be necessarily celebrating it 250 years afterwards, but I think they thought it would have a very long time horizon.
We are pleased to present the Declaration of Independence stamp. The stamp is available now at USPS.com and post offices nationwide.